Good evening. My name is Suten Aten, and I have a passion in sharing information to my brothers and sisters on this planet. We have been subjected to many things unconsciously and consciously on this planet. And part of the reality of knowing who you are is that there's a perception and a way that you have to look at yourself and think about yourself in order for you to be empowered. Because when you think about it and you really get into the essence of what's going on this planet, we are slaves in terms of our thinking. We're slaves in terms of our knowing who we are. And we have been bamboozled to believe particular things because we've been conditioned through religion, we've been conditioned through the educational system, institutions, we've been bamboozled when it comes to medicine and when it comes to our bodies. So it's up to us as individuals and part of the masses and people to gain a more profound knowledge of who we are. It will be self-empowerment. And so when we talk about medicine, when I talk to you about medicine, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to your doctor. I'm not saying it in sometimes in emergencies that if you have to take a certain type of medicine and medication that you shouldn't take it. You take it for a while. But at the same time, you need to educate yourself, know thyself, and know your body, and know the basic systems within the body, so you can make an intelligent decision on what you should do with your body. You also should know the psychological aspects of health. Know thyself. And being a reflexologist, I have clients and I have patients that I have had for years. And one of the major things that we need to know in terms of health, know thyself, that a peace of mind is required in order for you to heal. To a very large degree, what happens to us is that we become stressed out because there's a lot of things that's going on the planet that's subtle, but y'all also very outwardly apparent. We talk about air pollution. We talk about the food that we eat, the relationships that we have. All those things can be toxic. And we need to know that when you speak of diet and you speak of health, then diet comes in 4 different levels. Diet comes in from a physical level, the food you eat. Diet comes in emotionally, the way that you deal with your feelings, what you feed yourself emotionally. Diet deals with the mind, what type of thoughts that you eat, what type of thoughts that you involve yourself with. Spirit, how you unconsciously attract certain type of entities into your space that can cause dis-ease. So know thyself again, and those are just some of the topics that I'll be speaking on. Our last video, I spoke on the eyes only see what the mind has been prepared to comprehend. So knowing yourself, we spoke of the health. I'm going to go back to that. Leave that eyes only see what the mind has been prepared to comprehend. And I want to go back to that health aspect because it's important that we understand and know how diet is connected to our thinking. Now, some of us, of course, can't go to expensive health food stores or expensive places to get our food, but having a knowledge of what not to eat or cut down on eating, or knowing that you still can get certain types of food substances such as herb. We talk about Siberian ginseng. There's a superb herb called haritaki. It's extremely bitter. If you can get it in a capsule form, that's fine. But me, myself, I take it, I blend it in water, and I take it, and it is an excellent antioxidant. What is an antioxidant? An antioxidant is a substance that you get from plants, basically, that enter to your body, and when there is any type of viruses or bacteria or germs that can be harmful for the body, it literally eats it up. And when it eats it up, you release it through your bowels and through your urine. So antioxidants are very important. Why? Because also you're only as healthy as your colon. Your colon in your brain has the same substances, or I'm sorry, the same cells. Each organ in the body has particular cells. The liver has particular cells. The kidneys have particular cells so that they can perform a particular function. And so the brain has a particular cell so they can partake of a particular function. The colon and the intestines have the same similar cells that the brain does. So there's a connection. And when you keep your colon clean and your intestines clean through proper diet, you actually think better. There's a mind-body connection when we talk about diet. If you eat harmful substances, if you eat foods that have a lot of grease, foods that are dead foods, fast foods, foods you get from restaurants, you have to be very careful because, especially when it comes to meat, if you wish to eat meat, you need to make sure that it's kosher meat, Amish meat, because if you eat regular meat that's in America, then a lot of it is has antibiotics, a lot of it has hormones, and the way the animals are treated, all those things create what we call a particular type of vibration. There's a principle, 7 principles. The principle of vibration is one. And we must understand and know that a lot of things that happen to us in terms of us getting sick is these subtle different things that we don't realize that enter into our lives because we don't know thyself. And so I'm going to repeat that because part of the whole theme of my videos is to awaken and give you information on knowing yourself on many different levels, from the physical level, emotional level, mental level, and spiritual level. In order for us to be whole and to be well, we have to concentrate on all 4 levels. We may think that we are a particular one thing. When I look at someone or you look at me, you see the physical aspects of myself. But there's much more to a human being and to me and to you than the physical part. It's like we have to also, which I'll talk about, change our perceptions of ourselves and or know that our perceptions are very limited. Your ability to see is very limited. Your ability to hear is limited. Your ability to taste is limited. Your ability to feel is limited when we talk about touch. The word is touch. And so that's why also when I speak and when I talk to you on these videos, I'm going to give you a ammunition for the soul. I'm going to give you ammunition and knowledge by which you can heighten your perceptions, heighten your ability to see beyond the physical, heighten your ability to hear. All these different things are necessary because as I go on in the videos, there's certain things that you need to be able to grasp and connect with. It's not real super deep or super complex or abstract, but it is. But when you prepare yourself, then you'll be able to understand the different things that I will be speaking about and sharing with you. Because why? The eyes only see what the mind has been prepared to comprehend. So in my videos, there will be an evolution of things that I'm going to go through, an evolution of things that I'm going to share with you. And as you look at each video, one video will connect with the next video. This video will connect with another video, and it will be a curriculum. It will be a pattern. It will be an evolution. So this is why I'm coming from the standpoint that I'm coming now, know thyself, the physical part. And there's an affirmation that I will repeat probably in each video so that you can connect with a part of yourself that we don't even realize and don't even know. To be able to collect and connect with our spirit. There's a gospel tune called Jesus is on the Main Line, tell him what you want. And so Jesus, in terms of metaphor and a wider perspective, actually represents our mind, how our mind operates, how our soul represents. And our mediator between the spirit and the flesh is our minds. It's symbolic. Our minds are symbolic to a medium, a door, a portal between the physical and the spiritual. And so this is what all the great avatars represented. Yeshua, Muhammad. And even going beyond that, you yourself has this potential. We all have this potential. And when we're speaking and when we are sharing knowledge, and when knowledge has been shared from an ancient standpoint, from a biblical standpoint, and from other ancient texts, they would, what you call anthropomorphize different principles. What does anthropomorphize mean? Anthro means human. Morph means form. So to a very large degree, my first possibly maybe shock to you is that saying the word God and what they have associated with the word God, you see a person, a male, and with long hair and a beard. This is the depictions that I used to see when I was growing up as a child. And God is not a human. But in order for human beings to communicate this vast, great force and energy that they call God, they anthropomorphized. Listen, they anthropomorphized this energy, this force, this omnipresent, omnipotent force, and gave it a human form. But trust me, my brothers and my sisters, what they call God and what we call God is not a human. And so in order to connect to what we call God, well, what are we going to call it? Well, it's beyond words. It's beyond knowledge. It's beyond thinking. Well, okay, you saying it's beyond knowledge, it's beyond thinking. How will I be able to connect? You connect with the heart. The heart is the true wisdom within you. It goes beyond thinking. Now, know thyself. And so when I say that, we have different parts of our bodies that connect in terms of messages. Here, at this point, front of our brain, and then we have the heart, and then we have the gut. Those are three different aspects of how we attain messages. And so up here we deal with logic, what you call logic and deduction, and you seeing me speak today, how you are processing this information. You're looking at me, you're hearing the words that I say, you're bringing the things that you have experienced possibly in life, and you bringing all that all together, and you're looking at and hearing what I'm saying, whether you agree or disagree. You're using your logic, you're using this, you're using your head. And that's how we deal with life. That's how we deal with our everyday occupations. But then there's another part, which is the heart, that has a sense of all-knowing. It goes beyond the thinking. And so if you go beyond the thinking up here and you deal with the heart, then you'll say, well, I'm listening to what this brother is saying. I don't quite understand it up here, but there's something about he's saying when he says that anthropomorphize. Okay, I never really even considered that they give this force and this powerful, omnipotent, beyond words, they gave it a form, and they call that form God. And that form is what we call male. Okay, so even though my mind has been conditioned to think a certain kind of way, what he's saying, I can feel in my heart. Okay, I may not agree with it up here, but I feel what he's saying and my heart. And then there's another level that what he's saying and how he's saying it and his sincerity, I feel it in the heart and I feel it in the gut. We have what you call a gut feeling of things. Now, all these different levels of information we use every day, but unconsciously. And so also part of the videos that I'll be speaking on is to make us more conscious of the unconscious things that we take in, the messages that we take in. Because when we learn that, then we learn how the media, we learn how movies, we learn how images affect us without us even knowing it. So when we become more conscious of the information that I'm giving you now, then you will say, oh, wow, okay, I understand what he's saying, because they use images and they use what you call propaganda to repeatedly feed me things, repeatedly feed me images. And wow, I never really thought about how it influences how I think. Commercials and advertisement, marketing is based on different images that they send to you continuously, and you don't even think about it. When you're sitting down watching TV or when you're going to a movie, there's little clippings that they put within the movies that you don't even see consciously, but your unconscious or subconscious absorbs it and take it in. So we have to know about the different divisions of ourselves. When we know about the different divisions of ourselves, then we're able to overcome and we won't be slaves. Woo! Are you a slave? Have you been conditioned to think of yourself, to look at yourself, to perceive yourself, to perceive your wife, to perceive your children, or to perceive people in a particular type of way? Have you been a slave? Yes, we all have been a slave. And so when we are able to go beyond the average approach of looking at ourselves, because that's what I just got through doing and demonstrating to you, will give you insight and make you more conscious of your unconscious and the things that happen. You have groups in this world that actually sit down and think. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 people that are called psychologists, social psychologists, that sit down and figure out how they want you to look by fashion, how they want you to think by movies and books, how they want you to eat by the different GMOs and genetically modified foods. All those avenues are means that they use to make you a slave. Do you want to continue to be a slave? That's on you. My purpose is to share the information with you. And there's a term that I use called eat the meat and spit out the bones. Whatever you can take in, take it in. If it sounds too way out or sounds too strange, bless you. Because I'm not imposing or trying to impose any of my ideas and what I'm saying on anybody. It's important for you to know for yourself. Because the eyes only see what the mind has been prepared to comprehend. And with that in mind, I'm going to make this statement that you have different references and paradigms that you go by in order to give you some validity in your thoughts. My thoughts and the things that I share with you and going to be sharing with you in this evolution of these videos are not nothing I just made up, nothing that I just feel, nothing that I just have this passion for without any type of practical evidence from a physical plane. But some things will not be from a physical plane. Some things will be from my inner knowledge and inner knowing through my prayer and meditation. And so I'm going to spend a little bit more time in explaining some things to you. And I'm going to let you eat the meat and spit out the bones. That when we talk about being a slave and we talk about consciousness, it's very important that we know that we see what we call life through a little keyhole, a little small keyhole. That's how we look at what we call reality, through a keyhole. Now, if you can imagine, if you're in a room and you put your hand over your eyes like this, now you only focusing on what's within that keyhole. But the room that you're in, when you see it and think about it and release that keyhole way of looking at the room, then wow, the room opens up and you see all these different things that exist within the room. You see your books, you see your furniture, you see all these different things. So the purpose of the videos, my brothers and sisters, is to release that keyhole, to throw that keyhole away so that you'll be able to take in the knowledge and the information and the revelation that I have to share with you. Why? Because the eye